video editor, which I think most of us are familiar with, to cut or make the video to the length that we needed. From YouTube, I think this was around 7 minutes. So we did our video editor thing and took, I think, 1 minute. And there was some nice.
Show us that 1 minute.
Oh yeah, sure. I just wanted to show you other tools we can use with video edits. I know we did not use all of them, but there are so many. You can split the video, you can add text whilst another part of the video appears, and then the text pops up out in that certain or particular.
You need sound. Let me just turn on the sound for.
So you just wanted to take this part of the video.
Magnetic fields. An inductor produces these magnetic fields only when there is a current flowing through the inductor.
Excellent. Excellent.
Trying to get the noise down because learners are laughing at the person who's speaking.
Yeah.
Actually, the pronunciation of words.
Also produce magnetic fields when current flows through it. But the density of these magnetic fields are quite low. But when we turn the conductor into a coil with certain number of turns, the current flowing through each turn creates its own magnetic field, which adds up to form a larger magnetic field. This ability to produce a strong magnetic field gives inductor a property called inductance. Inductance is the ability to oppose any change in current which is flowing through an inductor.
And another thing which is very important before you go into what you just did now, you have to watch the video and avoid these particular terms. I realize that for YouTube sometimes you get some videos that are made in USA, for instance, and normally they do not give the terms the same way as you do, and in some cases they use different units. Hence that might cause some confusion for learners. So I always watch the video carefully, and if I see something that might be unfamiliar to our learners, I change it for something else. Or if you can try to decipher or be able to translate some of the other terms. Okay, and the slide is just dull. But here we could have added an animation as well. This one is like for each and every particular text to also appear in a stylish way as well. You can do that. So if you have many bullets, maybe 3 bullets, you can just bring them in style as well. So that's nice as well. Here, let's just comparison between and see what it says. And this was our video again. Actually, this was interesting because we tried to take a video from what multimedia software, and it did not allow us to save the video. So we great idea from our group. We came up with a very smart move there. You might be jealous some of your fun. So we took the whole, recorded the whole screen. Anyone who's forgotten, I'll kindly and gently remind you. Windows G. to be. Yeah, you just G and then you go to this button that says start recording. Then after you recorded the screen,
I know.
your video will be saved on
Just
videos. Under videos there will be a new folder that's written captures. And then you go to captures and take out your video there. You can shorten it the way that we did on the first video. And then there was a problem with zooming. We needed to crop and get this particular type, because remember we took the whole screen while we were recording. I think there's something that says crop.
You click on it. Click on the video itself,
Yeah, I did.
and then go to video tools. Top. Format. On the right.
Comments there. Yeah, and crop. Okay, so crop will allow you to take whatever portion of the screen that you have recorded. Can you see this was our screen? But see now we wanted this part here. Let me just move this a little bit. At least you've done this. So start. Okay. Same thing that we did here as well. All those we ended up downloading the OBS Studio as well, the one that we spoke about. I'll just quickly show you now.
Wir sind hier. Take an hour for the
Okay, then you can go on Google Chrome and type OBS Studio as you see here, and it will say download and install. That's where you click. Please look out for this logo here, because there are other softwares that do pretty much what OBS
Studio.
But OBS is the best, especially for a free software. OBS is the best. The others they will want you to pay. Okay. Then what you do here, you have a video capture on this side. Video capture is
It's not the same as that. Is it so yes?
what? Yeah, it's the same thing. So video capture, that's you are speaking on the screen. Your webcam is recording, but here I'm at default setting. I normally poor, so I normally adjust to whatever lighting that will create a clean and clear picture, not like this one. And then you're gonna have a select display capture as well. Every time you select the part that has been selected, it will turn red. Now, display capture means that it's capturing everything that is happening on the laptop. Okay. Video capture is capturing me. I speak, I show some movements or animations. I write and actually show to the learners what I've done. Obviously, like I've said, you must have a better setting than this one. And as if the total mem is not clean, sometimes it helps to clean the webcam as well. Alright, and then you can go.
How did you do it yesterday?
Job.
And then you can go to I just opened a random PDF, whatever. So if I want to speak about this question paper and write some stuff next to it and record for the learners, I go here and I say start recording. Not streaming, recording. Then I record, minimize this, talk about your conversation. Then you answer questions, you can add text. There's also some other softwares you can download that will allow you to give some cool pens to use and write your notes next to the questions as well.
Kodo. I'll give you a name of one just now.
Yeah. So that's very cool. It just looks like a pen, so you can just answer a question paper while you're speaking on it and making some examples and movements. So it sort of helps you connect better with your learners whilst being far from them. If you are mad, they'll see you. The teacher today is not happy with us. Probably they did not do well with quiz via the Google Forms. So you show them what I'm very angry. As well, you see, she's going through ma'am with past paper, and she's like really happy how they answered. And then after you're done, go back again and say stop recording. Right? After you stop recording, this should automatically be saved on a computer. Let's search for videos. There. It actually writes the date and time of when the video was captured. I normally use VLC for then I record, minimize this, talk about your. So what you need to do as well is get your answer questions. You can what you call that. Also some other softwares you can download the video editor so that you can cut out the parts where you were beginning and start where you want the video to start.
The videos will fly.
So that's very cool. It just looks like a pen, so you can just answer a question paper while you're speaking on this and making some examples and to connect better with your learners while being far from them. If you are mad, they will see you to teacher today, not happy with us. Probably they did not do well in the quiz via Google Forms. So you show them what I'm very angry.
Nah, he started. I was joking.
And another thing to avoid is I'm not transitioning from whatever folder you have opened. Before you start the video, let it be on the question paper already. Alright? So that once you press start this side, you move this side to your folder and then you stay there the whole time to avoid distractions of showing the desktop stuff. So they like to focus on stuff that are not important. So you just stay there on what you want to talk about up until you finish Thank you.
Trouble was technical. Was the technical side of doing things.
Oh, yes, another challenge with this is like Brett said, was it, ama-videos akhona normally take up the space esikhulu, so ikhona ibizwa ngokuthi video compressor. There are many of them. We can download the video compressor to make it ukuthi ibe namadata amancane. But ungacompress kakhulu nawe wenze 5 megabytes uzolose i-quality.
Alright. Thank you very much. That was very helpful. Yes, do you have
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Ms. Mkhize, and I'll be presenting half of our presentation for today. So what we have is a lot of revision of what we've done through the week. So please don't expect a lot of new things, but we'll just show you how we implemented some of the things that we have learned. So the aim of our group was to introduce electromagnetism to grade 11. And what we actually aim to do is to simplify some terms for the grade 11 learners, especially in the introduction section. So we also started with a slide that explains electromagnetism and just shows a simple picture of what the idea behind electromagnetism is. And then, so what we had on the other slides is that we try to keep things a bit simple, not to have too many words on the slide, and also use simple images to introduce the topic. Once again, yeah, we have some simple diagrams there. Once again, to just not have too many. Then we put in a video that we had that simplified also. Do we have the audio on here?
Yes.
So this video is
Induction. Electromagnetic induction is the process of generating an electric current in a coil by moving a magnet in and out of the coil. The aim of the experiment is to investigate the factors affecting induced current in a solid.
Sorry.
We expect that the amount of induced current will increase when the magnet's
So
motion
we're not
is
going to
sped
play
up.
obviously the whole video,
If a
but it's a
stronger
short
magnet
video
is used.
also just showing the introduction and also showing actual images of what we're talking about, the coils, and a few terminologies that could maybe confuse learners. So she basically explained the apparatus that she was using, the tools that she was using, and also showed things that affect current induction and so on and so forth. But the aim here of this video is literally to show physical things on what we're talking about, the batteries, the magnets, the coils, and how they lead current.
Read the rest of it through. I'm interested to see how she's going to show the.
Or will I get less going? Using the
Job,
same strength magnets,
Focus.
but
Focus.
faster. Well, it seems if you move the magnets faster, you You get a reading, and that reading is higher than you would get when you move in the
So it's
magnet a
in the
little
middle.
slower. So it seems to me that the movement of a magnet related to a coil, or maybe a coil related to a magnet, induces current. But if you look on your graph, the current keeps changing direction. This part of the graph is positive, and this part of the graph is negative. And we call the current that is induced in this manner, we call it alternating current. We'll investigate
I just
this
want to make
further.
a comment, because it's such a good choice of video, this one. The reason this is a good choice of video is that equipment is very technical. None of us in our classroom have got this thing that's going to draw the graph or the, but often learners just see the picture of the coil and the magnet going in, and they don't get the sense of the movement and then the immediate impact it has on the current. So that was a very good choice of a video. And it's that kind of thinking that you do about why am I using the video, it shows this very, very clearly. Thank you for that.
Thank you. And so then we went into more detail about electromagnetic induction and Faraday's law. And then, to explain all that we explained here in Faraday's law and the factors affecting current induction, we used the FET simulation. And on our FET simulation, we recorded it, so we're not going to go into FET to explain everything. And so we also used the video editor to kind of crop what we didn't need from the recording. So this is how it starts. Oh no. This is how it starts. So we even put text in it, the effects of area on current induction. And you're going to see how we're going to change those values for the area throughout the video. And then, so we have 50% now, and we're going to see how that affects the voltage and if there is an effect or not. So there were 4 factors that we spoke about in our recording. So it starts with the effect of area. Then next, you can see the text changes again. Now it's the effect of magnet strength, and we're going to change the values there on top on the FET simulation. We'll increase it, decrease it, and so on. And then we did another effect, so there were 4 effects. The next one was sorry guys, technical errors. I don't know if that's the end of it, but we actually had 4. Yeah, we had number of turns. Maybe I don't know how. We probably made a mistake there, but we did number of turns. We also did the how fast the magnet goes in and out of the coil. So we had all of those up. Sorry for the technical error that we can't see those at the moment. Then we went on to the right-hand rule, and at the end we put in a Google quiz that we can access from the slide. Can you help me please, IT guy? We have an IT guy in our group. To open this thing, I can't open it.
IT specialist.
So we would be able to open the quiz so that the learners go through it in class with us. They could do it for homework, or they could do it during class if you have facilities, obviously, in your class, or if they have cell phones and they're allowed to bring them to school. Otherwise, they do it at home, but you could go through the quiz with them in class. We had quite a cool quiz. I hope it opens. It showed a few options on things that you didn't probably speak about during the time that we're doing the quiz. So I hope it opens.
You can make it a hyperlink as well.
Okay, if it doesn't open, oh, there we go. Thank you so much. So the quiz that we had was based on the information that the learner would have got. I don't think we could obviously fit everything into one lesson because there's a lot of things. But as I said, learners could do this for homework. Started with the obvious question, the name, and it's a multiple choice quiz. So the interesting thing that I wanted to show you was a question that we put up that says, it's this one, it's the last one. It said here, select 2 ways in which the deflection on the galvanometer can be increased. So here, the learner would have to select 2 options that would be correct. And for all the others, they can only select one. And how would you do that? You would go, IT guy, click on. Okay, so yeah, so these are the 2 correct answers. So if they would, so these are the 2 correct answers, but it gives them a choice to select more than one option.
How do you do it?
I wanted to show you, but IT guy is reluctant to open for me. Come, show us how to
Make them.
Click on the thing. Do a question.
No, I need to ask you
Oh, so this is a form, oh yeah.
The pink.
So this is already a form gone to a learner. You have to open on our
On your
Google.
side,
Yeah, but again, it's an easy thing that you do. So you have an option of choosing short questions or short answers and multiple choice, and then there's one that says checklist. That's the one that you would select. Yeah, you'd select checklist so that they're able to tick on more.
Yeah,
than
it's a
one.
wow for the.
It is a wow. It is. Thank you. So yeah, and then let's go back to the PowerPoint. It's almost done. So the next thing that we want to show. So we said that the part that I would do is just revision on what we had done through the week and to showcase how we'd use what we'd learned over the week for technology. But we have some new stuff under our sleeves. Please take over, Mr. IT guy.
Well done. Teaching each other new things all the time. Yeah.
good morning. Oh, when you're done teaching the class, you also want to make the test.
Yeah.
So we cannot come up with new questions, but you can always use previous question paper because to avoid what happened yesterday. So if you want to make a question, a test using the previous question paper, a PDF question paper,
Yes.
you cannot edit it. But here, if you can look here, I have this app. This app can help you edit a question in PDF question paper.
What's the name of the app?
What is the name?
The name of the app.
Make notes.
Name of the app. Then we sit on it.
Name of the app.
Name of the app. And then you can edit anything you want, you can change the date. And then you can. Maybe if you see here in the question paper,
I love PDF.
you like question page.
I love PDF.
So
I love
you want to change question page to question 1.
You are too fast.
So,
I love PDF.
So you can change.
so sir, you said what is the name of the app?
It's a PDF editor.
PDF editor. So you just go to a browser. You just go to a browser and type.
But if you download it to Google, it won't work. It will work for me for 2 days.
To try it.
And then it will want you to buy it. So it's better to come to me. I will put it in your laptop and I will help you.
That's why he's an IT guy. We are coming. We are coming in full numbers. We are coming in full numbers.
You can do anything with it. You can use a PDF, you can erase something that you don't want to put in things.
This is
Okay. And another app. Okay, I'm done with this one. This is an app called Graphs. Maybe you want to do a memorandum and you put there an equation. So now, in a memorandum, you have to show what you were supposed to do. So you can't use a pen. You're a teacher. So if it's a blackboard or whatever, this app can allow you to go. Just click and then enter the equations. Maybe you want the parabola, so 2x squared plus 4. Then it is. And you can see it there, so you will use this hand. Yes. Put it down here. If you want to focus this part. And then you can use any tool that you can use to grab it and put it to the paper that you want. You can even put a straight line.
I think
X minus 2.
because of the app.
So you can put any graphs here and then just drag it and put it to the question paper you want. And for those who are teaching maths, if you can ask Mr. Bennett to put this one on the top. This one is autograph. Let's make, maybe you are teaching the trick graphs. We all know to draw a graph will take you a lot of time. And you erase it just to show them maybe you have a graph of, let me say, a trick graph that is from negative 360 to positive 360. And we can change the y-axis, negative 6 to negative 6. And then let's put a sign graph. Y is equal to A square. those who teach maths,
This is the connection.
okay. For those who teach us maths, we always talk about these factors, this variable, this A, P, and Q. If you change them, it means your graph will change, right? So you want to show your learners what will happen. Maybe if A, you put a value of 4. Maybe where there is P, you put a value of 2. You want to your learners to see what will happen. Imagine drawing this graph and drawing another one, let's have a 2, and drawing another one, the whole period will be off. So you just draw this one, and then you draw another one here, and say maybe y is equal to, now you change A, you put let's 4 you want, and say sin x plus and then this is the second graph. Let's have A as a 4. So now learners can see the different what happened, what is the effect of A. But I'm not teaching maths, I'm just showing you.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
There's going to be lots of people who want you to come and hack that other one for the.
I love PDF, yeah, I love
What?
We'll present. You know what you can do? Simple. You need to time to present the tickets, go to the front to connect. And you show the presentation is inside. I think please, it's gonna be a joke, but don't tell them what's gonna happen.
If you can get the ID card.
It's the faster.
My name is Vula. Our topic it is the photoelectric effect. As it was mentioned that the first thing that you need to do when you are about to talk about any topic is to check the basic on what the learners they already know. We know it exactly that when you talk about the photoelectric effect, it's mostly based on the electromagnetic spectrum. That type of a topic, it was introduced in grade 10, and then you have also touched on it when you were talking about the application of Doppler effect in light. So firstly, you need to check, or you need to remind the learners on what they already know. So when you talk about the electromagnetic spectrum, you know what is it that they're supposed to know. There is another way that I discovered based on my personal experience. And then when I was starting teaching 20 years ago, I will tell you the story behind if you are interested.
Yeah.
Yes, we have the time. I will.
20 years ago.
You stole my tomato. Those Chinese movies.
unavailable. Hola. Girl. Very good. Hey, practical.
Now, you know that when you talk about the electromagnetic spectrum, they need to always have this method of recalling what is it, the spectrum, they follow each other in a specific sequence. So what we know here is that when you talk about the wavelength, it always going to decrease moving from the rate, because you are teachers. I could listen what you were saying. It's easy for you to remember this spectrum. So this is how they follow. We know that from the rate from the radio up until the gamma, as the wavelength it is decreasing, the frequency it is always going to increase. So that is where you start. That is where you start from the basic that the learners they know. From there, we know that when we talk about the Doppler effect, there are certain, the photoelectric effect, there are certain definitions that they must know. The first one there, it is of course the photoelectric effect as the process where the electrons are ejected from the metal, depending on the threshold. And then when you talk about the threshold it is also directly proportional to the work function. So maybe to start on it, you start with this video here to show how does it work.
I'll call to the day.
Can I go first to the link?
No problem.
Okay, even if there's no sound on it. But it is a small video, and then when you talk about the factors in which the photoelectrons it is affected, you are going to compare this one here, you compare the frequency and the light intensity. You know that when you talk about increasing the frequency, what is it that is going to be affected? The number of electrons, they are going to be the same. When you increase the frequency, the number of electrons are going to be the same. The more you increase the frequency, what is going to be affected? It is going to be the kinetic energy in there. And when the kinetic energy it is affected, you know it exactly. When you talk about the kinetic energy, it has something to do with the speed. So the electrons, when they are being ejected at the higher frequency, they will come out of the metal with a higher energy. That is why the speed it is up. But when you compare with the light intensity, it's all about the amount of brightness of the light. That one there, it only affects the number of electrons. So when you look at this one here, there must be a light rays that is going to be shined on the surface of a metal, and then the electrons are going to be ejected. So those type of electrons, then once they've been ejected from the metal, we then call them the photoelectrons, because now they are out of the metal, because there was a light that was shined. So as we can go back on the effect of the threshold, and how does the threshold influence the electrons. So as you can see here, if the threshold frequency it is less than the frequency of the light, there will be no electrons that are going to be ejected. But if the threshold frequency it is equal to the frequency of the light, the electrons are going to be ejected and then sit on the surface. There will be no enough kinetic energy. But as long as the frequency of the light it is greater than the threshold frequency, that is when the electrons are going to be ejected with much energy. So the first simulation here, the first simulation that we have selected here, there are many factors that you can use this first simulation on in order to explain this one. Of course, if there is no light, you can see here the light intensity, if it is 0, no matter which metal you can use there, no matter which metal you can use there will be no electrons that are going to be ejected because there is no light. Remember, when we talk about the photoelectric effect, it is the light being shined on the metal. That is when the electrons are going to be ejected. If I can put it on 50%, you can see here. Of course, this simulation it is showing the wavelength. As you can see, there it is nanometer, is not a frequency, but we know what is the relationship of the frequency and the wavelength as you have explained it here. Now you can see my metal here, it is zinc. There is already a light with the frequency here, but you can notice there are no electrons that are being ejected. But if you change the metal, you can see now it is sodium. There are electrons that are being ejected. What does that say? It says that the minimum frequency or the threshold frequency, it can never be the same in different types of metal. It depends on the metal as well. Even if the frequency it can be the same, the frequency that is applicable on the sodium, it can never be the threshold frequency that is going to be applicable on copper. Right? The more you increase the frequency. Of course, when you increase the frequency, you must decrease the wavelength. As you can see here, you see now the electrons are becoming more faster because the more you increase the frequency, the more the wave function increase. You can always change the metal if you feel like. As you can see there, again, when it is zinc now, you can notice that the wave function is a little bit decreased. It is more slower on the zinc, or when you change the metal. And then the other factor, if you can put it back again, remember we said when we talk about the intensity, it's all about the brightness of the light. Maybe one you can say it's all about the number of light rays. If you increase the intensity, what is going to happen? There are more electrons that are going to be ejected. But look at the speed. The speed is always the same. So when you talk about increasing the light intensity, the intensity only increase the number of electrons. Of course, notice this one. Notice the current here. Let me reduce it again, and then you are going to notice what is going to change on the current. You see? Why? Because the current depends on the number of electrons. So the more you increase the intensity, there will be more current that is going to flow. Again, it can show the graph. If you want to represent it in the form of the graph, You will notice here it can draw the graph. It depends again, the shape of the graph is always going to depend on the type of the letter. You see, there is no change because of the wavelength here, because it is zig. But if I can increase the frequency, again there will be a change. So that is how you can use this one here in the photoelectric effect. I remember one time there was a question that was asking what is going to happen if you increase the voltage. Let me take it back to Sophia. It was saying what will happen if you increase the voltage, to the current. Notice the current there. You see, I have increased the voltage of the battery. The current remains the same. What does the increasing of the voltage of the battery? It only affects the energy of the electron. The electrons, they move faster, but the number of electrons, it remains the same. That is why the current there, it does not change. So ours, it was based on that one. Thank you very much.
Viva.
Thank you. Very good use of simulation.
Idea was the bongo.
No, because it is Java, it does not allow
You show them that we are fathers of technology. When I did have a laptop. Miss, color. I have a laptop. Yeah, fine. Hello, Mister. Mister? Is it red? No, just show it and you know you're done. E voi? E voi?
Morning, Felix. I am Agnes Tembuyazi.
Come back with answers. Yes. Anzana Pepe, come on, laptop are freeze. Let me. Seyivukile. Seyivukile laptop. Just in time. Just in time. Uzokwazi ungishuthe kathi ngiphambili. Uhlala la. When you zoom in, it's like you zoom in. Then you zoom out if you want to.
Okay.
While I'm talking. But it's a focus phambili. Now what happens? Look currently. But if you confuse,
Okay.
to see.
Oh, yeah.
Siyabonga Buyama.
Okay. Okay.
Sure.
We're looking at electric circuits as a group, but we can't divide ourselves into resistors, power, and internal resistance. So we better divide ourselves into 3 groups within a group. So one is looking at the resistance, others are looking at power, and so as internal resistance. We're looking at resistance, parallel and series resistance. Okay, basically, we first defined what we mean by resistance in series. Let's come to the slide. We've got this picture from anything, yes, except anything, where basically it's all about what we showed the learners what we mean by resistance in series, where they are connected one after the other. And in fact, we also look, well, we said that this resistance in series, they divide potential difference, or they adjust potential difference dividers. So the total potential difference divided amongst those 3 resistors connected in series. And also, this was meant to serve that, or to illustrate that the current through these resistors is the same. So I1 and I2 is the same. There's no extra current to go.
Windows Explorer.
So we put that in words. Firstly, how do you calculate the total resistance? They are in series, we just add them up. We illustrated that they have the same current, hence the yellow. So resistance in series have the same current going through each resistor. And the excess potential difference divided. That is the last point. So this again relates to this diagram. So which we got from the textbook, Olivier, as I said earlier on. We did the same thing with the resistors in parallel. Okay, this is the diagram to illustrate that. We said that they have the same potential difference, so the total equals V1, V2, and V3, and across the whole, the whole branch. We said they divide the current, and again we put that into words. Firstly, how do you calculate the total resistance? We said that the current is, they split the current, so the total current is given by the total current I total given by I1 plus I2 plus I3. So the current is split amongst those 3 resistors. We also spoke about the potential difference. You can see from the last bullet that they have the same potential difference. So to drive the point home, well, we had this video as well, which is about 7 minutes, but I will not play the entire video. Just play it quickly.
Sorry, it's going to move.
Presenter, you can focus on the board. Okay. Okay.
Samsung. It's powerful, yes?
Tools that look so good.
And those 2 resistors meet up at point B, which also meets up with the other side of the 6 ohm resistor, equivalent resistance of the circuit. So notice that these 2 resistors are in parallel. So to calculate the equivalent resistance of those 2, it's it's going to be 1 over 20 plus 1 over 5 with a single resistor at 4 ohms, which is ohms. And this is 6 ohms. And the voltage of the battery is 20 volts. Now, what do you think we need to do next at this point? Now that we have the equivalent resistance, with this information, we can calculate the total current that flows in the circuit. So it's going to be the voltage of the battery, which is equal to the current in the circuit times the resistance, V equals I ohms law. So the total current in the circuit is going to be the voltage of the battery divided by the total resistance, which means 2 amps of current flows in this direction, right? Compared to the current that flows through the 20 ohm resistor.
Okay, this is just to emphasize what we've been talking about earlier on, so to drive the point home to learners. We also have a short exercise at the end. Where again we are testing that information, the class of information. The questions are based on resistors and current and on parallel and series resistors. Again, trying to drive the point home that resistors in series have the same current and resistors in parallel will split the current. And same thing with the resistors in parallel. Okay, this is just about it.
Thank you.
How do you take the pictures from all students? Sorry.
We use snipping.
Yeah, snipping tools.
That too. Yes, I just want to.
You could, so that's a good point. If you've got a textbook, a paper textbook, you could always take a photograph and then, yeah, edit that, cut it down, send it to yourself, to your email address or something.
Thank you.
So ilo cause video le recorda manje ngiyeke nje
Yeah.
okay sure
It's gonna be on YouTube. Yonke le nto namhlanje is gonna be
funda video technology today.
it's coming. And then I can have just excuse me to make a video.
Yeah. Yes.
This?
Morning, colleagues. Again, I'm sorry for the earlier technical error. This is our presentation. We were, as a previous presenter from the group has just mentioned, that we decided to divide ourselves into 3 groups. So we were focusing on electrical circuit, but our section is electrical power. So then we decided to use this picture just to draw attention for learners. And then we also decided to use, I think it's a similar feature as the one that Mr. Chole used when we went to YouTube and cut and trimmed a video like that one. The aim of this one, it was because during a lesson we wanted to explain, yes, we were going to talk about electrical power, but we decided to make an example from something that learners are familiar. So what is going to happen is that we let this video play where the guy will try to lift up that in a very slow motion, and then he will also lift it very fast. So So the purpose of it is that we realize that when we are using technology, you might also we can start by showing that video, and also you can use maybe a dumbbell if you have one, a small one, or you can take a stone, whatever, and allow one or two learners to come and lift the first one very slowly, or the other, and then the other one. Then what we will draw a conclusion that in the first situation where we lift it slowly, you don't need much of the power, but when it's fast, you need more power. So that's why we can select such bit. And also transactions like the one that we just saw, we chose just to capture the learner's attention as you go. So then we present everything.
It's like that to shoot take my effect.
Where we define
It's
power
okay
in
to keep it simple and to move fast.
Yeah.
So let's disturb it.
because there are three different
Sometimes you make an
three
effect
formats
and
of
then you
power.
accident.
Using
Get
class two
stuck.
and then the other one. So we made an example based on the first one. And then a solution, of course. And then, okay. And then what we decided to do is that we use Google Forms for the first power equation. This is called for the first power. For the first power formula, then we use Google Forms as we've been using. We set these questions that we were going to use. I think we are almost all familiar with Google Forms now. And then we continued our presentation to focus to the one that talks about the voltage and the resistance. The one that P is equals to V squared all over R. And then what we decided to do is that we realized that Google Forms might require sometimes an individual practice, but as a teacher we might also like to have a large group discussion. So we all want to participate at once. So we realized that we can use another link or website or app which is called Carnival. So when we go to Carnival, we created this one, the present, like something like this. So this one is more for for where you want the entire class to engage, where you can say it's almost a game. You can see that it's not showing. I'm the only one. Okay, there is something good about this new gadget is that they are good, but sometimes they can confuse you. Okay. The thing is, this is a yes or no question. As you can see, the bottom power is measured in joules. Then the entire group will decide if it's yes or no, and then you move to this, and then the answer is no. So this one it's called. So this one is true or false resistor. Resistor with a resistance of 5 ohms and the current of 1 ohm. Power dissipated will be 5 watts. Then you decide is that true or false. You discuss among the group, and then you come with the answer and say the answer is true. So because and then so it's Canva. So I decided also to use this. I decided also to use this laptop just to show everyone how to do it. Because we are also, I would like everyone to turn on their laptops. As we are. Okay, guys, on this one, we need to support. Yes. Okay, you can on Google Chrome you can just type Canva.com. Can we type canva.com in our Chrome? As you can see, canva.
C-A-N-V-A.
It's canva.com. Then you hit enter, and then it will require some signing up. What I can tell you, it's almost similar to Google Forms. It's almost, so it will require for sign up. You say sign up. You can use your Google or your Facebook to sign up. It's free. So you can sign it. There is nothing wrong. Now from this, can we all type? Can we also all type Fiverr in our in the search? Are we all in this page? Okay, no problem.
C-A-N-V-A.
Only
Canva.com.
choose what? Oh, you just ignore that one. If you see the bottom, there's some word says skip the top. Because I'm giving it top. Say what? No? Okay, then you go to the and type good triangle. Yes, and then you hit enter.
Attribute design. Sign in, yes.
Yeah, no. Go to sign up. Go to sign up. It will show two options. It's either you sign up or your Facebook. Just choose your Gmail. This is the way
Bayithathe isikhathi sokufunda zonke lama-app laba.
I need to design
Sign it, yes. It will give you two options. It's either you can sign using your Facebook account or your Gmail. Just click on Gmail. It's much faster.
Trivia.
Verify. And then can we all search for throwback night? So these are the trial that you can use to create whatever that you wanted to create. But I want us to all go. There's all look for throwback night. Because I want us to throw back. So can we all find this one? Throwback night. I'm selecting this one because this is the one that we use. So this is the one that we are. But you can choose anyone from this one as you play around with them. You can see it. So are we all here?
No.
Yeah, where it's written teacher at the bottom there is because they are giving you a talk. So just say ignore, skip.
I'm saying on try the 9.
Yes. Just hit it. Hit enter.
Okay. Apheli bethu ngangeni istar.
slower when you put power on. But slow when you put power on.
Okay.
Imagine it's training, it's like it's chopping out.
So allow we say Lucas. Allow access to the phone. Deny. Okay. Oh.
Go even to your learners to take the reaction as they are learning. I think I got it. Let me see. Should I start with the one?
I wouldn't end with the
No, but for us we have to start with.
start with the it's fine, good. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Azothisha ngokuhilisa kwey'ngane zabo ngempela. Exactly. Exactly njengey'ngane zabo.
Throwback night. It has a page like this one. So I want some can you all find it?
Proceed.
Yeah.
Proceed.
Okay, singaqala ngalokhuza. Singaqala nge-workfet. Senze after the end maybe sibadlelele video le just ukuthi bayibone ukuthi bebenza just to ukwenza bahlele. Okay.
So I will continue once we are on.
No, Tisha.
Isikhathi
Stefan is present. President.
sihamba ngo-1 because siyabile ukhuza kwilunch angithi futhi 1.
Tisha. Proceed, Tisha. Because of time.
Okay, again. Makanjalo. If we say so, let us proceed. So from here we can highlight and write whatever that we were presenting power, because this would be this would be your first slide.
Oh, it is slide. Lawa ama-slides.
And you go to this button.
What ama-slides
adding
lawa?
this, where it's written a page. So when you are adding a page, it's up to you. You can say apply them on. So, okay, say add page. The teacher is lost.
It happens. There's a lot of distractions. The teacher.
Oh, okay. No, our teacher is back. Teacher will always come. Okay, so Smolly. So let me delete this one so that we will all see. And then Sibuela Lapaya, then we say add. Yamuna property apply all. You can choose to apply them all the all lawa under uloku night trigger. Kodwa, do you see this small 3 dots?
Yes.
Click on. This is a verse that the least ukuthi do you want to do multiple choice or what? Okay, uyabona ukuthi mawuthinta lapha kuvela kanje ngezathi khona ukuthi this is multiple choice or no, this is for the instructions of your game. But I want us to go to yes or no. Do you see yes or no lapha on this side? Yes. Add a new. So you add it as a new page. So this one would be yes. And then next to yes loyal, it's where you'll be choosing if it's correct or it's yes or no. So then you'll have to this one and say new, add new, you choose yes, like this one. Can you all see? Was I fast?
Yes.
Yeah, fine. No, it's fine. Okay.
Some needs the visual attention.
Yes, I will attend. So let's suppose we want to add now true or false. We can first hit plus and say true, and then you also need to hit plus and say false. So the first page will always be the question. Well, this one's a true or false question. Then you edit it. You type whatever question that you want to answer. Then you go this side. You can use whatever that you want to use. Like for this one, they've used the count. But should you want this page to be for true, you can just right, left, click and hold to so we all know this the under was true. So, but this one is more for when you want to do a large group discussion in class. Other than Google Forms, is more for specific for one person. So, yeah, thank you.
There's so many creative things out there, so it's nice to learn from each other.
Okay.
And I would so I'm wondering if you should start at just so that yeah, so let's break a bit early for tea.
Then you stop and
We'll carry on.
okay.
Alright, no problem. Thank you, Sharon. No, I'm not. I'm just trying to get it over and done with. Huh? But let me try and polish. Those are more polish. That's how it starts. Okay, that's the beginning. That's what you're gonna do. This I'm just gonna go through it so that I don't forget it. Because sometimes you go there, you start saying other things. Yeah. Then, from this is where I pause. I tell people, let's go to YouTube. Then open your phone, type this, then type the page. Everybody on their phone, on a laptop, and when everybody is here, and that happens, and when that happens, then you go there. And when you get there, why I'm teaching everybody must be taking this information. I go back. And then I record everybody can see. So the one at home is. That's what I'm saying, starting with the wow effect.
Okay.
he's on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, he's
Yeah. So when we are all online, then now we get them. It's short, man. Then we play this video, then we go there, then we go there, we go there, we go there, we go there. Yeah, but then we go as we planned. Yeah. Because I've even set up a simulation. I've set it up. This thing I've set it because it's not very serious. I've even made it to save time. So it's prepared before the lesson. So preparation is very important. You prepare your video, prepare all your material. By the time you go in a lesson, everything is ready. You talk about something, you talk about this now. So in our community, for us, we all have to go in. Usazoshua. Hleli nomistake longulo la kumnandi yeah. Into ezokwenzeka ukuthi le video izoba because I wanted ukuthi ngihlanganise konke le after saving izoba yodwa but it's okay. It's okay. Means as soon as I come back I'll record it as I'm going there then it's recording. Because I remember stop streaming, okay.